Hey, so just a little bit of a casual video right now because I realized I need to talk about Zoro. A couple of the comments have basically just said, hey, you didn't go into much detail about this scene, and which was true, but a lot of it I thought was kind of self-explanatory with his character, and as I start thinking about it, it is something I want to just discuss. So Zoro's character, despite him not having like an arc dedicated really to him specifically, my opinion of him has actually changed probably the most of any of the Straw Hats. When we first meet Zoro, he is chained up, restrained, being humiliated and starved on this post. And I'm pretty sure if he really wanted to, he could have probably found a way to escape on his own, but to protect like the people of the village from not being hurt by the government any further, he's taken this punishment thinking he's going to be released after the however many days are up, only to find out that he's going to be killed. But he is taking this insult to him in strides. He's starving, but he's like refusing food and would rather eat the food off the ground that the little girl had given him before hurting her feelings. So we're establishing that he is a genuine good character. Now, my criticism back when I first read that chapter and arc was I was looking forward to the intense loyalty that I knew Zoro would have once he joined the Straw Hats and Luffy, because I did watch Up to Arlong Park when I started this manga read, and just existing on the internet, I knew Zoro was going to be very loyal to Luffy. What I didn't like, my small criticism, was I didn't like how fast Zoro was intensely loyal to Luffy. I didn't know really like, okay, I'm a pirate hunter, and now I'm going to team up with this pirate and immediately devote myself to him. Oh, he's been kidnapped by a bird, I'm going after him, no hesitation. I want to put this out on the internet. Past Jessica was an idiot who didn't know any better. Oh my god, because Zoro's immediate loyalty to Luffy is probably one of my favorite things about his character. I love how stoic he is and calm. Calm is probably the wrong word, but he knows he has his own core values of what's right and wrong, and once he commits to something, once he gives his word, once he sees the path in front of him that is what he chooses to be the right thing to do, there is no deviating from it. Luffy saved his life. Luffy risked himself to protect him. Luffy got his swords back. Luffy has proved himself to him, and he has given his word that he will join his pirate crew. So once that moment happened, there was no need for any self-doubt or internal reflection on, hey, what the hell did I just agree to? It was, I'm a part of this crew now. He's my captain. I'm going to do what he says. I'm going to follow his lead. I'm going to protect him. He's kidnapped by a bird. Of course, he immediately rushes after him with no hesitation or thought of abandoning this crew and going back, doing his bounty hunting to become the world's greatest swordsman. That man's going to be the pirate king. He needs the world's greatest swordsman beside him. That's all there is to it. And then we see how much a swordsman means to him when he's fighting Mihawk. My absolute love. And even being, I don't want to say humiliated by this man, but how else would you describe rolling up on the world's greatest swordsman, challenging him to a fight, and then him pulling out the equivalent of a butter knife saying, I'm sorry, this is the smallest, weakest sword I have to fight you with because you're not worth anything else, and then still fighting him with everything he has and losing. And then Mihawk could kind of give him the opportunity to run away, but Zoro's just like, no, a strike on the back is a swordsman's shame. I will take it in the front, and he's gained Mihawk's respect, so he takes the front with Mihawk's full sword, and then he survives due to the grace of the world's greatest swordsman, and he's vowed to never lose again. And then, still injured, no hesitation, following Luffy to Arlong Park and taking on the octopus, taking on Arlong's crew. There's no hesitation there, and I love that. What I really need to get into is the two conversations during the Water 7 saga. The first one is so little and brief, but I loved it so much. And that was after Usopp had challenged Luffy to a fight for the Mary, and Usopp lost, but Luffy still said, take the ship. We can't use it anymore. Luffy is so hurt. He's hurt that his friend is leaving him. He's hurt that he's sending him away. He's hurt for everything that's been said between them. And he's hurt that the Mary is broken and can't be fixed. And now he's defeated and beat his friend. And his friend has used the knowledge that he had of Luffy to physically hurt him. He's betrayed. He's down. He's questioning himself. And Zoro is the one who is just like, you cannot falter. You are the captain. If you falter, who are the rest of us going to be able to follow? And that Water 7 arc is really just Luffy learning what it means to be a captain, to be held accountable, respect, and taking the advice from the people he respects and disregarding the actions of other leaders that he does not respect. It's like, I'm not going to become you. So that very small moment is incredibly impactful for me to Zoro as a character. Then pretty much the reason I'm making this video, someone had mentioned that they had said that I didn't go into much detail about Zoro saying he would leave the crew if Usopp did not apologize, and just the relationships between the three of those characters. So it was such a good scene, but I thought it was a little self-explanatory, which again, why I didn't get into it, but now I'm regretting it. So Zoro basically said, hey Luffy, I get you're happy that Usopp wants to join the crew, but you can't just go to him and accept him back. He needs to be held accountable. He needs to show respect to you as a captain, because if he quits so passively, I'm not quite sure, in that heat of the moment when chips were down, when they were all stressed, if his response was just to leave, like how can we count on him in the future? How can we rely on Usopp? How can we respect him? How can we respect you as a captain if you allow this disrespect? If you just push this aside and Usopp doesn't apologize, like I'm going to be the next one to leave, because you may be an idiot, but you're our captain. We have to respect you. You have to take accountability and control your crew. This was not okay. He challenged you to a duel. He lost, regardless of who was right and wrong. The decision had been made. It was a firm line in the sands. Like, we can't just move past without that apology. And Luffy recognizes what Zoro is saying. He agrees to it, and they cannot take Usopp back until Usopp apologizes. And then Usopp comes in with spouting, hey, it's me. We've moved past this. I'm Sniper King. Why are you leaving without me? He's screaming it during a battle's going on. And I absolutely love that despite Zoro saying if the first thing out of his mouth is not an apology, we do not take him back. But then, as Usopp saying, come back, all this, but it's not apologizing, they're like, I can't hear it. I can't hear a word he's saying. There's too much commotion going on. I don't know. And everyone ran like, you hear him. You know what he's saying. But then as soon as Usopp breaks down and apologizes, Zoro does not hesitate. Luffy does not hesitate. They both welcome him back, and he's back on the ship again. And it's just a fantastic moment. Then you really see how selfless Zoro is with the nothing happened scene. This was the perfect example of his character. Because, again, Zoro knows himself what is right and wrong. He doesn't care what anyone thinks. He doesn't care about being humiliated or... Okay, he cares about being disrespected in the sense that he won't allow his captain or crew to be disrespected and follow the order of commands. But, like, when he was tied up on that, when we first met him, he didn't care that was humiliating. It didn't matter. It was the right thing to do in that moment. So when the opportunity, for whatever reason, arose that he could trade his life for Luffy's, he did this without a moment's hesitation. And when that Seven Warlord, Kuma, said, I will offer you this deal to take all of Luffy's pain that he suffered through this battle and put it into you, the absolute brutal torture, I'm going to put you through hell, and you will probably die from all this pain. Zoro does not hesitate. It's like, just, let's do this. My life for the captain do it. So he takes in that pain, and he is covered in blood. He's screaming in agony. And when Sanji goes up to him, is like, what happened? Nothing happened. He doesn't need a pat on the back. He doesn't need to be told, good job, you did what you had to do. Good job for saving Luffy. He doesn't need that appraisal. All he needs to know is that he did what was right, and he's not going to tell anybody because he knows that's going to make Luffy upset that someone else, someone he cares about, his crew member, is suffering and in pain because they took that pain from Luffy. Luffy would hate that. Zoro knows that. He doesn't need a thanks. And it is perfect for his character. So, in summary, yes, Past Jessica was an idiot who had no idea what I was getting into when I first introduced to Zoro as a character. He's been in the background a lot. He doesn't always have the energy that the other Straw Hats have. But when he speaks, he really means what he's saying. He makes an impact. He's so strong physically, mentally. I really love the growth that I've seen in this character because I had thought we needed a moment or two for him to do self-reflection on the path that he was on before becoming committed to Luffy and the crew, and that would have been a betrayal of his character. And I am so happy so many people said, no, that would be wrong for Zoro to act in the way you wanted him to initially. That's all I got. I absolutely love how stoic he can be, but how his words are so impactful. I love it. All right. Ranking the Straw Hats currently would be almost impossible because they are all fantastic. The power of friendship and strength and love of everything of Monkey D. Luffy might still be number 1, with Robin number 2. Zoro is definitely number 3. Nami is going to be number 4. I think Brook is going to be number 5. I love a good pun. I love his character so far. I'm ignoring the pervy bits for the time being. Chomper will be after that. Usopp is now above Sanji, because despite me saying previously after Thriller Bark that I'm going to forget something happened, I'm going to need a little bit of time to completely erase it from my brain. But that is all I got. I will talk to you later. Next arc will be up soon. I will talk to you later.